So let me let you in on a little secret, okay? This year doesn't have to be your year. I know everybody's saying it's gotta be your year, make it your year, gonna make it your year, it's gonna be my year. You probably said it, right? Okay. But unpopular opinion, it doesn't have to be, and I'll explain. But first, coffee. Much better. So first of all, my name is Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, also welcome. So this year I'm shifting a little bit of gears. I'm not going to make it all about motivation and what I typically do. Instead, I'm really going to be focusing on helping women break the limiting beliefs that keep us stuck. Okay, and so if you are in a season of rebuilding, this channel is totally for you. Make sure you subscribe. So there's this belief that comes every January, right? The clock strikes 12, and all of a sudden we hit the ground running just to make sure that the upcoming year, this new year, doesn't end up like the last one, especially if you had a really bad year, right? If you didn't succeed and didn't achieve some of the goals that you had set out for yourself. So now you have to work harder, of course, right? So we're rushing, we're overcommitting, and we make January, we put this impossible pressure on the month to do everything that we had 365 days to do the year before. Now, if you had a great year, this doesn't apply to you, of course. However, you could definitely feel free to share in the comments things that have actually worked for you so you can help other people out, right? Now, here's why this pressure actually works against you. And this is not just my opinion. Psychology actually backs this up. Progress doesn't come from actually working harder, more intensity, more speed. If anything, it comes from consistency, feedback, and recovery. And so in real life, that means doing things that you can actually repeat, paying attention to what's actually working, if it's working, and giving yourself the time, enough space to adjust and make changes. And so when we tell ourselves that this year has to work, our brain actually doesn't suddenly get smarter, right? It shifts into speed mode. And the thing about speed mode is we don't all of a sudden make better decisions. If anything, we make quicker ones, usually based on what feels urgent. And what feels urgent to the brain feels familiar, feels like it has to relieve itself in the moment. Hence the results that you don't actually want to have. And this is why working harder doesn't actually move the needle, or at least not in the sense that you think. You're making traction and you're not really obtaining results, right? You can work longer hours and still avoid the decision that actually changes things for you. As a designer, I can often get lost in a lot of my work. I can try to just take all the clients I could possibly take, and it doesn't actually always have the return that I actually expected to. If anything, I end up feeling more burnt out. And what I've learned is that the more or the harder I push myself, the more I drain my energy. And that's probably what you're doing. And then building anything that's actually sustainable doesn't actually get built. And this shows up everywhere, right? So you can go to the gym twice a day, 3 times a day, right? I'm finally gonna lose this weight. A lot of us have been there. Not pointing any fingers. The idea is you're not giving your body that time to recover. And so eventually, what does it do? It feels like it's being punished. It burns out. It doesn't lead to actual change, or at least not the change that you want. And then, it ends up being a flop. Punishing yourself doesn't actually create change. Learning how your body reacts does. I learned this early on in motherhood, right? That the day-to-day grind, usually you don't get that immediate feedback. And the truth is, it doesn't mean that nothing is happening. It just means that the results are taking time. And such is the same with the everyday, everything in the day-to-day life. That's how it functions. And so you need to give yourself time, not pressure and condense everything all at once, hoping to generate results. Now, I don't think I'm leaving you off the hook for lack of accountability, right? Because to be fair, sometimes we just didn't put in the work. Sometimes we let fear get the best of us. Sometimes we got comfortable. Okay. Sometimes we just didn't even set up the goals. Like we just thought it was just going to magically happen. But on the bright side, I have some good news for you. That's totally fixable. And so remember, progress is not about how fast you start. It's about whether the way you are working helps you learn, adjust, and keep going. Now, if you're unsure about where you stand right now, ask yourself these 3 questions. Am I doing this because it's right or because I feel behind? Is this choice helping me learn or just helping me feel busy? Will this make my life easier, or will I be overwhelmed 3 months from now? Those answers will usually tell you the truth. Like I said, this year doesn't need to be your year. It just needs to be the year that you stop actually measuring progress with pressure or applying pressure to have progress. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a new calendar to move forward. You just need to think a little clearer and maybe a little bit more coffee. If this video helped you at all see things a little differently, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, or even share it. And of course, subscribe for more of these reframes right here. And I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.